Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we have some super epic matches here, and the first one was in double mana speed mode, and I was using an orc army with necromancer. So as you can imagine, this could get pretty interesting because there are going to be a lot of orcs to be played. So first we have to set things up, and I could tell it was going to get interesting because my opponent here started using a bunch of fortifies, and so they were really digging in defensively. And I was just going to pour it on here with tons of orcs and necromancers. And normally the orcs might not be the best option in this game mode, but with the necromancer, they can start to hold their own. They can start to become pretty interesting. So my opponent is doing a pretty good job to try and counter things. My iPad almost ran out of battery, but luckily I think I plugged it in. And these angels were also an interesting twist into this deck. The angels plus the necromancer helping to keep the orcs alive. My opponent has like twice as much health as I do. Castle health at this point, and they're playing a dragon. Normally I would say the dragon here should win out, but I happen to have a rage and I just went right through their dragon. So they play another one, but by this point you can see I'm seriously getting an orc army out there, and again I'm using these blizzards to my advantage to work down the dragons, because I know under normal circumstances the dragons can take out quite a few orcs, especially considering their sort of area of effect attack. You can see right there, they just took out a ton of the orcs. Luckily, the necromancer continuing to pay off, because if I didn't have the necromancer for sure, I'd probably lose. But because I'm able to bring all these orcs back to life, it just gets super crazy. So they did take down the middle lane there, which was too bad because I had so many orcs there that would have been extremely epic if I'd been able to keep those alive. But the other lanes are still going. And this has turned into an absolutely epic showdown here. My opponent not backing down with their dragons and their huge amount of castle health. But I'm just continuing to lay down the necromancers and try to somehow pull off this win. But unfortunately, my opponent keeps putting down these black witches that are really destroying these stacks. Although I'm just unrelenting with these orcs. I mean, crazy number of orcs being thrown at my opponent here. And despite the dragons and the black witch, they're still unable to finish me off, and I still am on their side of the board. And with these rages in play now, I mean, I'm hoping to try and get really close to their castle. Oof, just a massive orc army now just bearing down on my opponent. Unbelievable number of orcs now that I'm bringing back to life. And how long can they hold off? Do they have any more dragons? My opponent is like fighting desperately here to... Oh, finally got him. But that was a massively intense battle there with so many orcs being played. So finally, this one, I somehow managed to get in a really interesting situation here in storm mode. And so my opponent has a necromancer, and I'm just playing with storm elemental. I really should lose against this person, but I kind of got a little bit lucky here, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna wait this one out and see how things go, because my deck was pretty bad here. But watch this, I believe I get... Oh no, there I just got another storm elemental. But I'm starting to get an advantage in this match a little bit. Triple Storm Elemental. Their stack is pretty formidable as well. Oh, I did have a Necromancer. Okay. Yeah, I guess this got pretty interesting pretty quick. And all of a sudden, we're having a one-lane Necromancer showdown. And they have a Black Witch, but they're they're being nice about it and letting this play out to see how it's gonna unfold. Because they could just play Black Witch and probably beat me right here, but we're letting it play out and seeing how things are gonna happen. So we both have pretty formidable stacks going, and because it is storm mode, these cards are just getting larger and larger. I was really afraid this person might have Meteor, but no, they just had Black Witch. And luckily, because their stack was just in one lane as well, they didn't have a huge amount of incentive to use the Black Witch, and for most of the match, it looked like they were winning. It was only near the end that I think maybe they realized they were going to potentially lose this one. Well, as you can see, if we do go to overtime, I have the advantage because of my starting castle health being level 12 versus their level 11. Of course, either of us could just go around. I think we're partly just doing this for fun. And this one just turned out to be so insane, though, because we have the giant... I have the giant storm elemental, and their whole stack is just super crazy. And the number of troops that we get out here in this one lane is kind of absurd. I just keep playing Metamorph and trying to acquire some things that I don't have. Like, I got the dragon. I don't even have a dragon in my deck, but I still got the dragon just from the Metamorph. That's why Metamorph is such a versatile card, and you can see that the Storm Elemental there is getting absolutely massive. Nature Heal was probably a little bit unnecessary, but still kind of nice to have. Unfortunately, because of all of the gusts of wind and stuff that we had, it didn't really end up being tons of time with just the troops fighting each other here, but looked like they were winning, although my Storm Elemental is still absolutely massive. And I do also have a gigantic dragon too. So you can see here now we are approaching overtime, and I pretty much decided at this point I want to let things play out and see if I can just push through their stack at all. But no, looks like they're going to win. And I was getting concerned because all of my necromancers were like right on top of each other. So if they took them out, I was probably going to lose. This is just an absolutely crazy Storm Elemental stack that I have going here. That Storm Elemental on top is absolutely massive. My necromancers have so many necromancers too. Just totally crazy situation. And I'm just continuing to go straight in on this stack there, and yeah, they go for the Black Witch at that point. I tried to take them out with a Fan Dancer, but they had the Necromancer out there. I was like, oh, maybe I can take out their skeletons with the Fan Dancer, but no. Then they do another Black Witch, and that's going to be game over, but still. Actually, they lost that, didn't they? But either way, I thought that was a pretty epic match. Pretty epic couple of matches. So leave a like if you guys enjoyed those epic matches. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you are new to the channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.